Okay, we're back. We're back with the drawing I'm doing of my future brother-in-law. Now, I added some henna there. This isn't really there going to be for the color. It's one of those colors that blends out pretty easily. But I needed some reference for shadowing because, well, if you saw the picture of this guy, he's a pretty featureless human being. So these are just shadowing references that I put down there first. I'd already started with the lightest colors. I'm kind of working my way a little darker now, as you can see. I'm going to put some of this right in here and just start putting light shadows everywhere. Oh, by the way, Alexa, set an alarm for 9 minutes.
9-minute alarm set for 7:28 p.m.
And Alexa, turn your volume down. So anyway, yeah, I don't want to go too far over. So I'm just going to time myself doing this. But if you watch the other video, you'll know that this guy is, I call him my future brother-in-law. Now, I don't know how often you guys have been to Vegas, or anybody who's watching this has been to Vegas, but there was this man who used to, well, let's just say he rocked out with his cock out. But he had a G-string on. And just a little chicken hanging off of it. Pretty comical. And I used to just tease my sister-in-law that I'm going to fix her up with him. So now every time that the man is mentioned or talked about in memories, or when I'm drawing him right now, I call him my future brother-in-law. But anyway, what I'm doing now is just adding some shadow in places, darkening it up some, giving it depth. But it may look like I'm overdoing it, but once I go back over with the peach color, it'll lighten it all out, and then you'll see how it just blends all together. Something like that. It works. I wouldn't mislead you. I really wouldn't. But today I was on the phone with my, now get this, they don't call them counselors anymore or anything. They call them liaisons. Yes, I have a insurance claim liaison that pretty much takes care of my disability claim right now. For those of you who don't know, I'm getting a brand new hip on December 12th. A brand new titanium hip. But I'm out right now because walking doesn't feel good. Sometimes it hurts like a lot. But anyway, where was I? Oh yes, I was talking to my my liaison, case liaison, and she was going to ask. She said, "I have a question to ask you, but in advance, I want to apologize for asking this question." I'm like, "Oh boy, this ought to be a real doozy." Yeah, go ahead. What do you need to ask? I need these people to pay me while I'm off, so yeah. And she says, "Was this injury self-inflicted?" Folks, I am having my hip replaced because of degenerative orthopedic arthritis. If I really wanted to self-inflict it, I don't think I could. But like I said, I'm glad she apologized for asking the question first, because then I continued to tell her that, well, I don't know if it was, I don't think it was done intentionally. She didn't. I started to elaborate. I said, well, one day my wife was off somewhere. I don't know where the hell she was, and I was just sitting on the couch chilling out, and I'd noticed that my wife left her crowbar out on the coffee table. And she's pretty good about putting her tools back, and so it just struck me as odd that she left her crowbar out on the table. But it's such a big one too. It's one of those crowbars that they use to put trains back on the rails, or sometimes they take those cruise ships and they get them off of sandbars with these crowbars. Real big one. And it just struck me as odd that my wife had left it out, because I'm always hearing about it when I leave my tools laying all over the place. And, you know, she's right. I need to put them back. I hung up all this wonderful pegboard and all these organizing shelves, and I can't even get to it right now because all my toolboxes are piled in front of it. Anyway, I was telling her that, so this crowbar's sitting there, and I just, I started thinking about what my physical therapist told me about how you'd really, really need some force to remove the femur from the hip socket. And I was thinking about it, and I wonder how much force he means. And then I saw the crowbar sitting there. Luckily, she had a big sense of humor, and she says, "Now stop. This might be getting recorded, but it is funny." Because, I was like, okay, well, I just decided I was going to take that crowbar and see if I could wiggle loose my femur. What the hell, they're going to fix it anyway, right? That was a pretty dumb question on her part. And of course, now that I am recording, the cat wants out. It's never a dull moment around here. I try to shut the door in case my wife can't fall asleep, and then when I shut the door and the cat's in here, the cat immediately wants out the minute I press record. Alright, well anyway. So, she appreciated my humor about the whole situation, and I just continued to think later on about how I would possibly self-inflict hip surgery on myself. And it just goes to show how ultra paranoid is the best way to put it that society has become for lawsuits, anything else. They just got to have, I don't know. So what I've done here is I've added this little bit of brown color, and then I want to give some hint of, a brow area. So I bring that in a little bit because that's all going to be hair. But then I did this. This here is to define the body. Like I said, there's no way in hell this guy's this ripped. It's just for shadowing purposes. Now I'm going to come back with this peach here, and I'm going to just start blending it all in. See how that works? Blend it all in. Yep, everything just blended all together, because once we go back over this again, it's probably going to be either with a really dark gray, or it's going to be with black itself when I just start blackening other things in the picture. I'm going to start some of these areas that I'm really content with, and I really like the way they look. I'm going to actually fixative them so I can't smear them. That's going to be something new I got to try, because some of my pictures just seem dark to me, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just me being my worst enemy again, but they just seem dark. But now, right now, here is my future brother-in-law. I'm getting him unripped. Remember I was telling you about being able to blend the colors real easily? And you want to use colors like that as a base. Yes, I know. Prismacolor does have blending sticks, but I don't need them. I blend the colors blend so well with the pencils. I don't really need a stick to do it. But that's why I use these certain colors, because they work well for, well, how the dudes they tie the drawing together, sort of like the rug for the dude. And if you can tie the drawing together and be satisfied with it, which is really cool for me, because I'm my own worst enemy. I will never be completely satisfied with anything. I will always find fault in something. But getting back to what I was talking about, Alexa, stop.